Hello, welcome back to the Jeevers Golf Channel. My name is Hans Jeevers. I'm a PGA Tour fantasy contributor for Fansided.com and ProGolfNow.com. And this week I'm here to discuss the 3M Open, which will occur in the great state of Minnesota. This is the second year that this tournament has been on the PGA Tour calendar. Prior to last year, it was a senior tour event, which was just a 3-round 54-hole event. It gained a little bit more prestige last year when it was placed on the PGA Tour calendar. So now it is a 4-round event on the PGA Tour. So I will tell you that this golf course is, the TPC Twin Cities golf course is not near as difficult as you saw last week on your television sets. If you watch any of the Memorial Tournament, was a difficult setup that Mr. Nicholas sets up that way for a reason. He does not want low scores, and he got what he wanted because only 9 golfers finished the tournament under par. That won't be the case this week. This is a resort style golf course. This par 71 is there for the taking. It is vulnerable to low scores, which can be illustrated by last year's win by Matthew Wolff, and he won the tournament at a low score of 21 under par. That won't be the case necessarily this week. There is a little wind out there. I could see 17, 18 under par, maybe a little lower, as last year the weather conditions were rather tame. However, you know how it goes with weather. It could change on a dime. Here I am talking to you on Monday afternoon. It could end up being 21 under again. Maybe I'm wrong. The thing I will say is you can expect some birdies, some eagles. So what are you going to be looking for as you look for golfers for your DFS lineups? You're going to be looking for guys that can score, that can avoid bogeys, that can get birdies, birdie or better percentage. You don't want guys that are firing 76s on a regular basis. Again, this is not like last week. Also, if you can find any correlation with the resort style golf courses like the Rocket Mortgage Classic in Detroit, which was played a few weeks ago. And I should also tell you that this particular tournament will have a much weaker field than last week's field, and for that matter, probably the weakest field of talent that we've seen since the restart of the PGA Tour season about 6 weeks ago. So I did have an article that was published today on DraftKings on Pro Golf Now regarding my DraftKings look at things, and if you go to ProGolfNow.com, you can see that article, and I will go over a few of my picks here. And my number 1 pick on DraftKings was Mr. Tony Finau, 30-year-old American who had a lot of hype when he came on the scene some years back. He hasn't quite lived up to those expectations fully. There's probably a lot of people out there that think he'd have 5 to 10 PGA Tour wins right now, and he does not as of yet. He just has won the Puerto Rico Open, which is not at all a prestigious event. However, I would find some correlation between that event and this week, because the Puerto Rico Open has always got a weaker field. It's always on an easier resort style track. And what does that have to do with this week? Well, as I said earlier, this golf course is a resort style track, easy in relative terms for these PGA Tour players, and that correlates beautifully with that Puerto Rico win. However, that was a few years back. What matters is how the guy is playing right now, and Mr. Finau is playing rather well. He just finished 8th last week at the Memorial. Very difficult golf course, and if he can do that there against a much stronger field, I feel rather comfortable in the fact that he can do it here at this golf course. And I should mention, why is it a resort style golf course? Why is it so easy? Well, as I mentioned, it was a TPC course. That's a PGA Tour owned golf course. So the PGA Tour likes to have some of these golf courses that are TPC tracks to be friendlier to the weekend hacker like myself that wants to go out and play on a PGA Tour course and say I played on a PGA Tour course, and not walk off with 100 over par, if at all possible. Now, of course, they're going to make it a little bit more difficult this week for the PGA Tour players, but ultimately, the layout is what it is, and these guys should not have much trouble on this golf course. So Tony Finau leads my selections on DraftKings at $10,900. The next one I like on DraftKings, $9,200, Russell Henley. And Mr. Henley has 3 top 17 finishes on the PGA Tour. Out of his last 5, he has 3 top 17s, including a 7th place finish at the Workday Charity Open 2 weeks ago. So Russell Henley looks like he's in a nice spot here. He also likes these weaker fields and resort style tracks. So I know you may say, well, everyone likes that, right? Wouldn't they rather play on easier golf courses? Well, in general terms, yes. But believe it or not, John Rahm even mentioned this. He won last week, just a few days ago. And he mentioned that he prefers playing on much more difficult tracks than these resort style courses where you can just shoot 25 under. So some guys don't seem to play as well as they can on these birdie fests. So just to throw that out there. So next guy I like on DraftKings, Chase Seifert. He comes in on the slate at $7,000. He has 3 top 23 finishes on the PGA Tour this season, and including a 4th place result at the Workday Charity Open 2 weeks ago. Brandon Hagge is up next, $6,700. He has 2 top 21 finishes in his last 5 events on the PGA Tour, including a 16th place result at the Waste Management Phoenix Open in February. So that's just a brief look at who I picked for DraftKings. I have a few other picks in there as well. Feel free to check out my article at progolfnow.com, which is not behind a paywall, by the way. It is absolutely free to check out the article in more detail. Feel free to do that. I will have an article that will come out in the morning, which will be from a FanDuel pricing perspective, which I'm going to talk about right now, even though it has not hit the internet yet. Okay, it will come out in the morning. So my lead selection from a FanDuel pricing perspective will be American Harris English. English has 9 top 17 finishes on the PGA Tour this season, including a 9th place result at the Arnold Palmer Invitational in March. Additionally, from a statistical perspective, I like the way he's playing. With regards to this week's 3M Open field, in the last 8 rounds played on the PGA Tour, English ranks 4th in strokes gained approach, 2nd in strokes gained tee to green, 10th in strokes gained ball striking, and 22nd in strokes gained putting. So I like the way he looks for this event. Secondly, on FanDuel, I like Lucas Glover at $10,600. The 2014 United States Open champion has been arguably playing the most consistent golf of anyone on the PGA Tour since the restart of the season about 6 to 7 weeks ago. Since the beginning of June, Glover has played 5 tournaments on the PGA Tour, and those 5 events played, Glover has 4 top 23 finishes, including a 21st place result at the Rocket Mortgage Classic 3 weeks ago. And as I mentioned a few minutes ago, I think there's a little bit of correlation with that golf course and this one as far as a rather easy golf course. He's been hitting greens in regulation often. His statistics show that as well. In the last 12 rounds played on the PGA Tour with regard to this current field at the 3M Open, he ranks 5th in greens in regulation, 2nd in strokes gained approach, 4th in strokes gained ball striking, and 4th in strokes gained tee to green. Next up on FanDuel at $10,000 is Sam Burns. He arrives on the heels of 3 consecutive top 30 finishes on the PGA Tour, including a 17th place result at the Workday Charity Open 2 weeks ago. Next up is Will Gordon, $9,500. He has 3 top 21 finishes in his last 4 events on the PGA Tour, including a 3rd place finish at the Travelers Championship last month. Charlie Hoffman arrives on this FanDuel slate at $9,300. He finished 7th at the Workday Charity Open. In that particular field at the Workday, which I took a look at, he finished the event after 4 rounds as the 14th ranked golfer in the field in greens in regulation for that tournament. He hit about 71% of his greens. So I like that as well. And finally, if you're looking for a low cost option on FanDuel, Seamus Power, $7,600. A 33-year-old Irishman has 3 consecutive top 38 finishes on the PGA Tour, including a 12th place result at the Rocket Mortgage Classic 3 weeks ago. Power also currently ranks 7th on the PGA Tour in birdie or better percentage, which I like. I want to see a lot of birdies this week. Also, if you're looking at first round leaders, if you like to do those type of things, DraftKings Showdown slates, Seamus Power is the kind of guy you want to look at. He tends to jump out of the gate quickly. He ranks 28th in overall first round scoring average on the PGA Tour. So he's somebody I would look at if you like to do DraftKings Showdown slates. So that's a quick look at my picks for the week. Follow me on Twitter at JeeversGolf. I always make sure my articles are up there for my followers to see. My articles are not behind a paywall. Also, feel free to comment on this video. I always like to hear what people have to say. If they don't like my picks or if they think that I'm right about something, who do you like to win this event? I'd like to hear your comments. As always, thank you. Hit that like button, subscribe if you don't mind. Have a great week, and let's have a great tournament. It starts this Thursday, the 3M Open. Take care.